this world, every individual experiences one galvanizing moment that directly influences their existence from that day forward. Some are shipped overseas to fight in wars. Others hit that unbelievable home run that wins the game. As for me, I was in a band. We called ourselves Secret Society. That's me, Josh. And like most high school rockers, we got our first show at a Battle of the Bands.
It was a dingy suburban Battle of the Bands in a little community center in a gymnasium in the back of some school, and we were freaks.
The way I thought about it, like the way every other band I'd ever been in worked, was like we worked to this one show, and we'd play it, and it would be like cool, and we'd be done. You know, we just like break up. It was just like a little class project or something, and this was like, I figured that this was like the same thing. You know, we were gonna play this Battle of Bands. They have all their friends there, and you know, we'd be done. Got there and like. We played, and son of a bitch, it was the most fun I'd ever had, hands down. Up to that point in my life, it was the most fun I've ever had, was playing on stage with 6 other guys, and we sounded like ass. We sounded like total fucking shit. We were the worst.
Yeah, so we were the last band, I think, and we got off the stage, and then they came on to announce the winners, and it was like, Secret Society, and we were all like,
It showed us that we could succeed at what we were doing, you know, even as small of a level as it is, and how we kind of like laughed at how we got a little plastic trophy from it. But it showed us that, you know, we were like on a path to something, and that there was some value in what we were doing. It wasn't just like a waste of our time while we were kids.
We thought we were good.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that we weren't, but like, well, we weren't then. But we thought we were, which gave us a drive to do more shows.
At the same time that the band was forming, a lot of us got involved in our high school's theater program. Under the direction of Julie Rolls, we learned about the true essence of performance.
I think just being in front of people, having that experience has helped, but I musically couldn't take any credit. I do think I tried to encourage the creativity aspect instead of squashing it and saying, okay, just sit in your chair and don't move. So hopefully. I think it's the first time in my life where I just became used to things that I never would have dreamed I'd tolerate, and yet they weren't terrible, but just funny, but I couldn't stop laughing. And so that's something I really miss about not having the group around, is laughing and yelling.
I'd never met people this funny in my life before, ever, and they made me funnier. And never really considered myself as someone with like a super great sense of humor, but just a comedy team when we all get together.
Overall, like, you know, the vibe was good. It was kind of cool because I was thinking, like, you know, these are going to be my new friends, and it was kind of a weird, odd feeling to be like that.
They were just together, and you could tell
like,
they were friends.
Like the friends having fun. They're not doing it because they want to. I mean, obviously they want to play their music, but it's like because we're having fun. Like we are making this together. We're creating this awesomeness together.
In an attempt to get our name out, we played a few shows at Higher Grounds, the coffee shop closest to our high school. Much to our surprise, everyone and their brother came to see us.
And then as they started to pick up steam and momentum, they just built and built, and this fan base just grew and grew, and one person would be like, yeah, you gotta come check out these guys play, you know, like, y'all know them, but check them out, come watch them play. And the minute everyone got there, everyone was moving. I mean, Higher Grounds would be packed wall to wall, the windows steamed up, and everybody's fucking moving, you know. It was like gospel, man. It was just straight where we were all at that point. Everyone, I mean, every person could find a song that applied to them, or a feeling that applied to them. And sometimes they'd like the shows would bring tears to your eyes. Sometimes they'd put you 3 feet off the ground with your hands in the air. Sometimes you'd sweat so much you could only be wearing like some ridiculous piece of underwear at the end, you know. But that was always cool.
We tried to carry that gospel-like quality with us to all of our shows, and it paid off when we landed a show at the Minneapolis venue.
That was fucking scary. I gotta admit, I was scared to death, and I think a lot of the other guys were too. Like our heroes, our musical heroes, this was the place we went to see them. This was, you know, the fucking rock and roll Shangri-La in Minneapolis.
First time I went there, I never thought that I'd be playing on that stage. And that didn't even cross my mind. But then, like later on, it became a goal, and that was something that I wanted to do personally, and obviously other people did too.
The way things were going, we all agreed to make the band our first priority. Well, for some of us, school came first. But anyway, up until this point, we'd all managed to work together without having one specific leader. And so we decided we should keep it that way. Of course, that wasn't easy for everyone.
Kenny tried to be the leader. I remember one time when he actually took hold of Matt's fingers on the guitar and tried to place them into a chord that he was thinking of. And that's kind of when it came to a head. It was just like, okay, dude, no. He plays the guitar, you sing.
My role, like thinking back on it, like I was like the front man. I was a singer. But when like off stage, like, you know, I was not a leader in any sense, you know.
There were enough of us that we could check and balance each other.
This is our studio.
Oh, okay.
Emerald Studios, come on in.
Do they let cameras in?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Having played First Avenue, the 7 of us realized that the idea of being a real band wasn't all that far away. All we were missing was an album.
To record our first CD, we borrowed money from our parents and found a studio that had the most lights in it, and that's the one we picked.
We could go into 1,000 studios and be like, have all these engineers be like, this is the XJ blah 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 blah, it does this and this and this, and we're like, cool, oh cool, digital, that's cool.
I remember thinking like, this is what real bands do. This is what they do, this is how they get places, and this is what we're doing.
Unfortunately, while most of us were planning for the album, Matt, who was a year older than the rest of us, was heading off to college.
So we waited for Matt to get back on winter break from school, and he had gone off to college at the University of Wisconsin in Madison.
I think that's when we started wondering why, you know, someone would leave something that was going so well.
When Matt left and came back, we weren't all in high school anymore, and like we suddenly knew it, like Matt had grown up a little.
Upon Matt's return, we went straight into the recording studio, where we encountered our first band conflict.
What the fuck do you want me to do it?
And there was a song that we had called 5 W's, and I'd written the music for it, and Josh had come up with the chorus idea for it as far as like the words, and I sang it. I wrote the words for the rest of it.
He took it over and wrote the verses, and they were about a girl, you know, they were about his girlfriend's sort of ex-girlfriend on the verge relationship.
And so I sang it, and then I was really nervous when I was singing it, and came out of the sound booth and into the room where everybody was, and they'd been, you know, listening to it, and just like the faces were all just like...
We just didn't really have time for people writing songs about their girlfriends because there were 7 of us.
You know, it was just like totally awkward. I'm like, oh sweet, like I just put like my ass on the line, and you know, and they just was not liked.
And Kenny was sitting right there next to us, and we knew that he could just go in there and do something that sounded so much better.
That was the last time I ever sang for the Secret Society. Or for anyone.
We were trying to take it to the next level. We were trying to come out with the best possible thing that we could do as a band.
They didn't like the lyrics because it was sort of about my girlfriend, which is kind of funny because band has been anti-girl. I should have known from the start that was a bad idea.
We realized really early that there's a lot of women out there that just won't let you do what you want to do.
It never worked. It just was like, I don't know whether it was like jealousy of time or like, it just didn't work, and the band, like the band as a whole, Secret Society as a whole, didn't like girlfriends. They didn't like them intruding.
When I went on my first date with Kenny, we went to a show in River Falls, and there were some other girls there who were like, they don't like the girlfriends, you know. And I was like, what? And they were like, they don't like girlfriends. No, you're not going to be liked. They're going to hate you. You're going to break up. And I was like, you know, this is my first date with Kenny. I hardly even know him. And so they made me feel like I was going to be hated by the band because I was intruding.
I don't know. It was high school.
Back in the studio, we managed to finish the album in a few weeks' time. Although we'd had a major falling out, the excitement of what we were doing kept us together.
Actually, we still have
We
to
just got
master.
done mixing our CD. Not actually, I'm wrong. We didn't just get done mixing our CD. We got done mixing our debut album. Our first of many.
All that was left to do was figure out a title for the album.
Somehow we ended up with "Can I Borrow Your Beard?" and we thought that was pretty funny because you clearly cannot borrow a gentleman's beard. It is his to have for himself. And so clearly the next step was to put it to the test, hit the streets, find out what people were thinking about beards. I do remember cruising to high school one day and just asking everybody what they thought about beards.
On the evolutionary scale, I wasn't graced with the fullness of beard.
No, I'm not really anti-beard, but I guess I just don't like them. I like a clean-shaven look.
I love them fierce.
I don't like beards.
Well, they turn me on.
Turn her on. So we'll see you later.
Well then.
When we finally brought the CDs to school, they hit big.
It was the coolest thing ever. No, like, honestly, came home, popped it in the CD player, listened to it 5 times in a row. Non-stop.
Someone stole my copy from my desk. I had it on a little stand, and it was autographed, and they stole it.
The album changed everything. It even got us a spot in the band's Warped Tour in St. Paul. That summer, Brian took on the chore of booking shows out of state, and he lined us up with gigs all over the Midwest. Things were going better than we'd ever imagined, except for one thing. It was my turn to go, and I wasn't going to Madison.
It didn't register to me or a lot of people why he had to go so far away.
Kind of took some of the heat off of me.
I think that was the first time with the band that I was ever like, well, I think it's done. I think this project is done.
We were going on tour for 40 days and 40 nights.
That was the summer. We were going to make something happen. And we were going to go out west, and we were going to be rock stars the whole time. That was the plan.
It was either going to be this or nothing. Like, if this didn't work out, then it was going to be over, I think, and everybody sort of knew that.
I discovered far more about people than I would have ever wanted to know. The way that people deal with boredom was fascinating.
We all carried that air with us, that group dynamic with us when we took off, and then we got kind of spanked.
Really, once we got to, like, Los Angeles County, it started to go really bad.
LA, the place where, like, bands are supposed to make it. We played in a pole barn. We played in a metal pole barn for, like, 3 or 4 kids.
I mean, we should have known it was LA, right?
After our defeat in Los Angeles, we were more than happy to get the hell out of town. Our next stop was Las Vegas.
We decided that we would take a shortcut. We would go the fast way to Vegas from LA.
Kids growing up in the Midwest don't usually think about temperatures driving at noon in the desert.
And I was looking at the atlas and noticed that, hey, if we were just in Amboy, yeah, we'll be driving right through a place called the Devil's Playground.
Then our van hit 66,666 miles.
And everybody's like, ooh.
Oh, that's creepy.
And everybody's just like looking out the window, seeing how freaky it really was, and then just boom, 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 boom. Some people are like unloading valuable stuff out of the van. Other people are grabbing bottles of water, trying to put out the fire.
And then a guy, just a random guy, drove by, happened to see that we were in trouble.
He's like, you having a problem? Like, yeah, we're on fire here. Pulls out a giant jug of water out of his trunk, comes up to the hood, douses the engine, fires out.
If he hadn't been there, everything would have burned, for sure. Needles was really the only town that we could get to that had a shop. Stayed at a place called the Kiva Motel. That was when I was just done.
The van started on fire yesterday, or day before. We've been in Needles for way too long, regardless of when the van started on fire.
I needed to go, and I did. I hiked 2 miles to the bus station with my big Duluth pack in the desert of California, and like just gathered myself like I don't know. That was a big transition point in my life.
It made us all say to ourselves, I don't know if I want to do this with my life.
It's just like that was it. I was walking away from a dream that I had. And I had to. That's what I did.
All of us of the Secret Society, minus Blair, have spent their lives here, sweating and being pissed off. Eventually, the rest of us made it back home too. The tour was over, and although it was unspoken, the band was too. The only thing we had left were our friendships.
If you can get out of being stranded in the middle of the Mojave Desert together as a bunch of guys and not kill each other, you learned a little something about each other and how people are.
I learned more about who I am, who I like being with the guys, with the 6 other guys.
These are still my closest friends. These are the people, that I want to be with.
Where would I be without the 6 other guys? I have no idea. I'd probably be a chotch.
We were lucky enough to have a really good friendship and a really solid bond between us, and then we had a really cool thing to do together. Then we played music for people. I mean, made-for-TV movie stuff right there.
There's no question about the place that they hold in my heart and will always hold in my heart. That's something that will never change in my life.
In this world, every individual experiences one galvanizing moment that directly influences their existence from that day forward. And I was in a band.
Single-handed emptiness, and he knows that it won't last forever. At least he hopes it won't last long. 'Cause if it lasts forever, something's bound to turn out wrong, and he will make it up to you someday. La 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 la. Yeah, someday.
I would like to thank you all for coming out to see the Secret Society tonight at First Avenue! The band features Josh Tucker playing the drums! The bass playing out of Porterfield! Jesus on guitar! trombone. And we have a special guest trombone player tonight. Death himself! Mushroom Head is on the tenor sax. And myself, the human kazoo on the alto. We're the Secret Society. And we're gonna give you the ride of your life!
More guitar in the monitors, please.
Hey, everybody back away from your dancing neighbor. If you're gonna stand, give the people room to dance.
This song goes out to Lord Danuccio.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Adam.
Hi, guys. What? All right, this one's called No Time to Waste.
but I never know that this would be this way. And I can say that I have never felt this way, but I've been wonderful, but now you're going away. And I can say anymore, so I said, have you ever wanted to go back to a time when all the feelings died? There's all those things that you do, all the place to go. And if I find it very deep, try to think it slow. He said, I got no time to waste.
Sorry about that. This next song is called Get It Out of Down. We changed it. I have Get That Fun Down here. All right. I messed up. Go for it. 12.
Everybody, come on, let's sing it.
She got her rings around you. You should have never got cutter. Now get your pit up away. Look at his hands. He is one big fuck man. Let me tell you, you can do better than that.
should be the man against her. You should be the man against her.
Now, Sneaky. Thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks for dancing. It's great.
Thank you, though, like, first
I want your baby too, Steve. You're the star, Craig. We are the secret society. This next song features Josh Thacker, the drummer, singing. Try and see his face if you can.
I lost my glasses. Alright, let's see if I can play this right. Ready?
Okay, I'm back. This one seems to be a favorite of all our fans. It's called Air Hockey. Everybody, come on, come on, woo, come on. Take it, Brian Hurley. Matt's getting another guitar. Just hang on a sec. Okay, this one is a new one for us. And for everyone who's heard us. It's called El Diablo. They say no one's ever seen him. Yeah, I know that ain't true. Right now he's in using the toilet. Water's no longer blue. But if you ever come across him, you better run and hide. Cause we all know him as the devil on the Spanish side. Now we'll do this thing he taught me. It's just a little sign. It really don't mean nothing. It's just a trick of mine. Stick up your index and your pinky and wave them in the air. And it don't matter what you look like. Diablo doesn't care. Come on. Diablo. Diablo's coming! Diablo's coming! Diablo's coming! Diablo's coming! Diablo's coming! Diablo's coming! Look out! Diablo's coming! Diablo's coming for you! Well, Diablo is a woman. She looking mighty fine. I met her at a bar one evening, and she looked like mine. So we went back up to her place, and we had some fun. But when I woke up in the morning, I noticed, hey man, my cack's gone. Diablo! All right, this is last one for now. Christine. Shut up. Well, Matt's changing guitars again. Me too. All right. This one is called final song, We Didn't Mean To. That way. Our real job, yeah, we started the band and we're in trouble again. But we don't know what we're doing, but I guess what we're doing, so fuck you, we said it. Uh-oh, we didn't need to. Oh, God, I swear. Uh-oh, we didn't fucking need to. Oh, like we can. Uh-oh, we didn't need to. Oh, God, I swear. Uh-oh, we didn't need to. Oh, God, I swear. Like data. We put our friends here, we set our friends, and then we get caught. But we don't know what we're doing, we're looking for what we're doing, so too. Oh, we say, oh, we didn't mean to. Oh, God, I swear. Oh, we didn't fucking mean to. Oh, like you can, yeah. Oh, we didn't mean to. Oh, God, I swear. Oh, we didn't mean to. Oh, like you can.
Hi. On behalf of the band, I'd like to apologize for any lives we've ruined, friends we've stolen, bands we've ruined. I already said that. Anyway, we so sorry.
Oh, we didn't mean to. Oh, God, I swear. Oh, I didn't fucking mean to. Oh, like you can, yeah. Oh, we didn't mean to. Oh, God, I swear. Oh, we didn't fucking mean to. Oh, like you can. Take it back. Thank you very much. Let's Secret Society. Thanks for coming out.